All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we thought we would do is we would come in. Actually, I'll walk out here with you so we can turn this around. We're in the shop right now, and this is Mr. Bryan Maynard, who some of you remember from either the Houston Theater Beat or maybe seen him around town doing some shows and all this stuff. He's actually working on a piece for Awesome America right now. Brian, tell them what it is. What are you working on?
I'm working on the coffin for Whatever Happened to Big Nose George.
Right, right. And what's great about this, and this is how Brian is getting this nickname, I called him the MacGyver of Ohana Theater Company, because how much money did we give you to make this?
Zero.
Zero. And so you were given zero money, and did we give you any plans? Were there any blueprints? No, there were no blueprints. So no blueprints, and no plans, no money, basically. Do we give you any material? No, we haven't. Basically, we've given him nothing, and we said, go make us some stuff. So he has. So tell everyone exactly what this coffin. I'm gonna get a shot of it here in a second. But you came up with this design how?
Actually, everybody's great tool, the internet. There are a lot of websites out there, a lot of forums that actually have great resources for building things with little amount of money. First website I found actually made everything with brand new materials for $25. Said, that's great, I think I can do better than that. Okay. So I went a step further and actually found a really awesome website that step by step, photo by photo, showed how to build a toe pincher coffin using pallets, old pallets. And it actually helps give it an aged look without having to do a lot of painting or staining or anything else to it. Right, because it just gives it basically the pallets that you see. A lot of times they sit out in the weather, so they're already weathered by the time you get them. A lot of them, so you didn't have to worry too much about broken pieces, or it's actually the irregularity of the pieces is what you were looking for. Those irregularities, broken pieces, warped, actually adds the accent to it, and it gives it that worn feel, that lived-in feel. Lived-in coffin. Well, it is a house, you know. I've been working a lot today, so he's tired. But this is and I'm going to cut to some of this, and let's show you some of the work that he's been doing. Or actually, if you want, you can lift one of these things up. They can see what it looks like. Basically, what this is he's creating a coffin that has the look of something from the 1800s. Okay, I'm going to turn this around, and Brian, let's see, what do you got here? Oh, look at that. This is the front of the coffin. And right now, hopefully it's not going out of frame. I built this a little big.
No, that's okay.
As you can tell, because you use me for scale, I'm about 5'10". Right. And this thing is going almost to 7 foot. I'm going to go back and do a little redesign on this, probably cut off about 6 inches on the bottom, and make this a little bit more realistic, a little bit easier to handle. Right.
Now this is the coffin lid.
Yeah, correct. This is the lid, and this is actually the facing of it. These pieces right here are offering stability for these pieces of wood, but they're more for aesthetics. The actual bracers are in the back, which I used materials that were available to me at the time. The screws were too long, but that's okay. They came through, and I just used a grinder to take them off so that it's not a safety hazard. Especially since I'm going to be the person in this coffin, I'd prefer not to get punctured.
You bet. You bet. All right, that's awesome. So there we go. We'll let Brian put that away. And a couple of other things. I'm going to show one other thing real quick, and then we're going to let Brian get to work on one of the other pieces that he's making for Whatever Happened to Big Nose George. So you're going to be in the coffin, and there's some other wonderful theatrical magic that we're going to have. We'll show you the finished version of it. It looks really great, and it does. It looks like something that would have been found around the 1800s. I mean, couldn't ask for something better than that. Now you made another piece. You made one other piece for Whatever Happened to Big Nose George, and what do you got? I can zoom in on it.
I actually just started work on an old-fashioned whiskey barrel. Most of these whiskey or beer barrels have more of an oval shape to them, but I had a few limitations, so I actually just made it more cylindrical. But it's still got a very good oaky look to it. And actually, I think it looks kind of period. You want to get it real quick?
Yeah, you can get it, or I can zoom in on it, whatever you like. This is, I'll talk here. Bryan actually surprised me because we thought we were going to borrow a barrel, and I had no idea that he was, because making a barrel is not the easiest thing in the world to make. And there's a whole craft that goes into it, and this looks great. Let me zoom in on it. Okay, tell us how you did this.
Actually, this is another instance of using pre-existing materials because I'm a great one for recycling wherever I can. These supports are actually the spindle body for a huge spindle that my company puts wire rope and cable on. And this is just the body to hold it as it's been spun on, with the ends taken off. What I actually did to help give it its shape was I used a smaller end from another spindle to hold it together, and actually used the matching spindle end right here to give us a shelf so that it's a usable piece later on, because items are going to be stored inside for part of the show.
Right, right.
And then I finished off with a little PVC tape just to give it a metal band look.
Looks great, looks great.
And we'll top it off with a top, a hinge top.
Hinge top. All right, well, that's all we're going to have for right now. Those are the first two pieces that we're going to be working on. Bryan is going to be working on some other stuff for us, and as we go along, I'm going to try to document some of this stuff. We have a couple of other things we have to build. We have to build a giant X, which, how often do you have a giant X in a show? And then there's a toilet seat wall that we're going to have, that we're going to have to, a rigged toilet seat wall. We'll show you what the toilet seat wall looks like, but we will not show you the rigging and how it works. You're going to have to come see the show in order to watch all of the toilets fall off the wall like they're supposed to. All right, I'm Gene Cato from Ohana Theater Company. This is Mr. Bryan Maynard, and make sure that you come and see him on stage in The Promise of the Moon and Whatever Happened to Big Nose George in this coffin, and when Awesome America opens on September 28th at the Barnevelder Theater. Bryan, thank you. All right.
Adios.
Adios till then. Or I guess we say aloha.